this. I don't talk. So to have power over your voice, we are saying that this one is very, very essential. It is important as a teacher to have power over your voice, and it includes teaching students very well and also managing students very well. Having power over your voice is about knowing how to pause to let the content sink. So this is very, very key. If you are taking notes, you can write down. We are saying that to have power over your voice means that you have to know how to pause to let the content sink. Know how to pause, when to pause, to let the content sink, to let the content sink in. It's very, very important. You have to know when to pause. If you know the students are not getting the thing, you don't continue. You need to pause, you bring in something, and then you restart again. It's like when you are driving, and you are driving on a speed of, let's say, 50 kilometers per hour. And you see from the roadside that they are saying that, yeah, you can go 80 kilometers per hour. You don't waste time. You have to accelerate, park and go. But when you get to a traffic, what do? You pedal down your brake and you calm down because there is traffic. But when the traffic now gives green light, what do? Move again. So you have to know when to stop to let what you are teaching them sink in. You have to know when to stop. It's very, very important. It is very, very important. You need to be an expressive speaker. You need to be engaging and understand how to use pitch and pause for effect. When to raise the voice and when to calm down. Now, if you heard me, anytime that I was saying give the student pressure, I had a way of saying it. I was saying give them pressure. That is how we call the pitch and effect. There are some ways that, some actions that you will do, the students will always remember that when the teacher was saying this, he did this, he said it this way. That is what we call power over your voice. You don't only stand there. Today we are talking about, let's say, Madam was talking about family, right? Today I'm on your family. Today we are talking about family, then you are here like this. What is family? Then they talk, or you give it to them. What is this? What is this? You talk. No. If you do that, you are not having power over your voice. Sometimes go around, go to them, touch someone in there. Someone who might be sleeping. Sometimes you call someone, you bring the person forward because you know that maybe the person is trying to disrupt the class. You want the person around. That is power over your voice. Sometimes you let them stand up while you are talking because you know they are sleeping. That is power over your voice. Because if you don't do that, even though you might be talking, but at the end, it will be in vain. There will be no impact. You will think that you have finished what you are supposed to teach, but the goal was not achieved. So please, let us have power over our voice. And having power over our voice, there is this that I want us to also learn. This is an advice that we have to know that yelling, when you yell at a student, and also shouting and barking orders, and the like that we do, it creates a you against them relationship. Now, anytime you are calling the child, you have to shout at the child. Hey, come. Like it creates a you against them enemy. So they think you don't like them. If you know the name of the child, don't say, hey, come. People love to be called by their names. It is, this teacher knows my name. So you don't yell at the students. Hey, you go and sit down. You come here. No. If you yell at them, we are saying that you are creating a you against them. So don't create a you against them, because that one is not going to help in the growth of the children. You know, in a house like that, children are always timid. Children are always timid. In a house like to express themselves, they are being yelled at, they are being shouted at anytime. Any small thing they do, their mother or their father will be, hey, what do you do? Hey, hey. A house like that, children are always timid. They can't express themselves. And that one shouldn't be happening in our schools. We should allow the children to feel more. Some of them are having a lot of challenges in the house. When they come to you, let them feel home. I remember one day a student told me that he wished he don't even go home. He is always around me. Why? I made them feel that even when I'm here, you don't even need your parents. You only need them for. Because if your parents can give you what I am giving you, they would have kept you home. But once they brought you here, you are under my care. That should be our attitude and our behavior. Let us take them as our own children. Because the time is coming, you don't know. It is going to pay off. It is going to pay off one day. Let's go to the next agenda. Practicing self-reflection. Practicing self-reflection. We are saying that as a good teacher, there is a need for you to practice self-reflection. Sometimes after you've thought and thought and thought, sit down, ask yourself, have the children been able to get what I'm teaching? Now, let me even not talk more about the teaching. Even in real life, sit down, ask yourself, like where I am. Where did I start? Where I am now? You need to ask yourself and reflect. That is what some people call meditation. Meditation. And you know, we have already said that you must have a goal for the term, a goal for the week. So you know that this term I'm going to teach 5 topics. So in the course of reflection, where have I reached within these 5 topics? What am I supposed to do? Now, within these 5 topics, there are activities ahead of us. How can I manage to achieve all those 5 topics? That is when reflection becomes important, self-reflection. So as a good teacher, you have to continually examine and evaluate your attitude, your practice, and also effectiveness and accomplishment, what you have been able to accomplish. And also without reflection, let us know that you run a continual risk of making poor decisions. Some people make poor decisions because they don't look back. They don't check what happened way back and know what to do next. Let's talk about 1983. It was a hunger in Ghana. And we all know how it came. So if we don't want that to happen to us, what do? We don't have to repeat those same things that we were doing. Maybe we were doing something like this and that happened to us. We sit down and ask ourselves, why did this thing happen? If we are able to find the problem, it's like we are halfway in the solution. That is why self-reflection is very important. You ask yourself, have I been able to deliver the goals that I intended to deliver? These are some self-reflection skills. Number 1, you have to use self-reflection tools. You have to use self-reflection tools. And this one, I want us to open our mind broad in our personal life. The way we want to live our life. Let us use this one. It's going to help us. If you want to develop a self-reflection skill, number 1, we are saying that use reflection tools. Use reflection tools. We have tools like diaries, journals, and all that. You can get them. Or maybe if you have your own personal book, no need to go and buy a diary. Get it down. It is going to help you. This will help you to jot down everything that you do. And talking about it in a classroom, you ask yourself, which students stood up today? Who captured my attention today? And why were they able to capture my attention? These are some of the ways you can do your reflection in your book. You can write that there. Which of the students did this, did that, and why? And also you can ask yourself, what did not work or could have been more effective? No, after you finish the teaching, or maybe at the end of the week, What would have worked better? Because you already have your plan for the week. What could have done or could have been more effective that I was missing? If you ask yourself these questions and you're able to answer them, you'll be able to help your teaching and also the students very well. Another question you can ask yourself is, what worked really well? What worked well with you? Maybe you were asking questions, and because of that, the students were able to participate. If it worked well, next time, use it. So ask yourself what worked well today, and also what is important for me to do tomorrow. Maybe you said some words and you saw that the faces of the children were changing, they were not happy. You don't have to repeat it again. But if you don't do self-reflection, how are you going to know these things? So what am I going to do tomorrow, this week, in order to help my lessons? Another question is that if I have picked a word or phrase today, what would it be? If I should just choose a word or a phrase. Maybe today was awesome, my class was okay, and I went to class, it was good, it was this. Is there anything else that I can add to my teaching lessons? So these are some of the questions you can ask yourself when you are using these self-reflection tools to help your students. And also you can use peer observation. You can ask a teacher to maybe observe and see whether the things you are doing it the right way, or maybe there are some things that you need to add to yourself. Remember, all these things that you are doing, you are building yourself for the future. You might not always be here. You might not always be in the classroom like this. Yes. You don't know what is ahead of you. I've said life is a mystery. You don't know where you are going next. Joseph was in a prison not knowing what is ahead. From prison straight away to prime minister, from P to P. But the other P was very good P. Yes, it happens that way. It happens that way. Somebody like David also, we know that. These are real life stories. David was just in the bush. They called him, come. He thought maybe he might have done something wrong. Because it doesn't happen. Now he came. They said, now let me anoint you as a king. And we can even come back to even our real life here. There are so many people like that. People around. They didn't come like in riches. Things just turned around for them. And it can turn around for us also. But what will help us is that while we are down here, we built ourselves. So when we go up there, we were able to take charge and take control of what God wants us to do. So let us try and do that. Let's allow our fellow teachers to view and assess. And also, we should allow them to learn from us while we also learn from them. Let's learn from them. It's very important. And number 3, pose the what and why questions. What and why questions. And the what question, you can ask, what am I doing and why? What options are available? What conscious effort or choice can I make to make a difference? This one you can ask yourself, what am I doing? Now you are teaching, right? You are teaching. What other options are available for you as a teacher? What other thing can you do as a teacher? And now, what conscious effort or choice can I make to make a difference? What decision can I make to make a difference as a teacher? Now, agenda number 10, we are moving forward. Developing research skills. Developing research skills. As a good teacher, you need to gather information that is true and accurate and also most appropriate for students to learn. Nowadays, we like using the AI. But do you know that AI, the full meaning is what? Artificial intelligence. But do you know that AI itself is not intelligent? Yes, AI is not intelligent. Do you know what AI does? It takes the information that human beings have already put in the system, and then it brings it to you. So if what someone said is wrong, AI doesn't know. He's not intelligent to know that this is wrong. You just pick it and give it to you. So you have to be intelligent enough to know that this thing that AI gave me is wrong. So as a teacher, you need to have a research skills. How to verify that this information is true. Because in this time that we are in now, information used to disseminate very quickly. And most sometimes the bad ones. So you have to know how to do your research. And this is what you have to know, that there is no point getting the first thing you find on Google or AI and teaching that. If you search something and it comes first, it doesn't mean that is the good one. Sometimes we used to have that knowledge that the one that comes first, that is the good one. No, sometimes it might be rubbish that we don't need. So please, let us learn and know how to verify information. And also you have to know who and what cause to trust. Who do you trust on the internet? It's very, very important. Especially if you are a teacher. You don't just pick any information and then you come and teach. No. The internet is full of lesson ideas. But which one is quality and which one is not? So you have to get that skills. Today we are not taking much time. Please, are you really okay with research skills?
Yes.
Very good. Let's move on to our next agenda. Agenda 11. Humility. 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 As a good teacher, you must be humble. It is very, very important. You know, sometimes some people mistook timidity as humility. Timidity is not humility. We are not saying be timid. If something is wrong, you just remain there. No, we are not talking about that. When we say humility, you know, mistakes can come anytime. And remember, mistakes may come as a result of the pressure of the job. Your teaching job has a lot of pressure. And mistakes may come as a result of that. So once you recognize that you have made a mistake, especially during your delivery of a lesson, you don't have to overlook it. This one has happened to me before. I taught something that was wrong. Yes, it was very wrong. It was a physics subject. But you know, the concept and where I picked the whole thing from, after comparing some textbooks, I saw that that textbook I'm using, they were wrong on that matter. So the moment I saw that, I had to come to the class. I showed them the source. I showed them some other comparisons, and I said, no, we are not going for this. This is wrong. And as a teacher, something like that can happen. Sometimes you can solve questions with the people, and you can see that after you go back to verify, the answer was wrong. If you don't come back to tell them, if they meet the same question, they are going to do it the same way. So that is when humility comes in. Even though you are the master of the class, but you are able to tell them that this is wrong, so they should take this one. So you are going to need humility to say yes, and also sorry, let me check it again for you. When a student comes to you and say you messed up, sometimes you might mark their exercises and all that, their exams, and maybe you score them down. Meanwhile, they think they scored more than what you gave them. It takes humility to say, okay, let me check. You don't tell them, hey, go. No. When we say humility, that is what we mean by the word humility. When you do something wrong, admit that you are wrong, and then make changes. That is humility. If something is wrong, there is no need to stress it. Oh, a teacher approached you, this thing that you did is wrong. Accept it, make changes. If you think it is not wrong, give reason why you think it is not wrong. That is humility. It is not that you tell me, who are you to tell me this? No, that is not humility. Let us be humble as effective teachers. And also flexibility and adaptation. That is our next agenda. We are finishing soon.
7.
Oh, about 3. Oh, 2, sorry. I have about 2 agendas for us to finish. So let us talk about the one agenda and then the last one. So this is the last part 1. Yes. I hope you are released now.
Yeah.
Today, I've been able to. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So let's talk about flexibility and adaptation. We have talked about adaptability, and we understand that one. You know, working with students will throw up new programs all the time. Yes. Some students are bad. They can cause trouble for you. Something you didn't do, they can say you did it. Yes. They can cause trouble for you. So you need to be flexible enough to get yourself out of all this wahala. Yes. They are troublesome enough. And as a good teacher, you need to be able to think on your feet and make changes to lesson plans based on the needs that arise when you are teaching. You need to be able at that moment to adapt. You need to be able to adapt, and then you change your lessons based on the need that arises. And also, when a student doesn't understand the way you are teaching something, you will need to change it at the spot. If you are teaching and they are not getting it, you will know. So if you see they are not getting it, change it. Don't force yourself. You can even come and sit down and you allow them to teach. You understand? Because sometimes some of the students may even think they know better than you. I have met students like that before. Yes. When you are teaching, they will challenge the class with questions that are not necessary for that topic. If you are in the SHS level, you understand what I'm saying. I was handling one class like that. I had to disgrace that student for him to stop all those stuff that he was doing. Now, anytime I get to the class, now let's say we are talking about electricity. You know, you have electromagnetic force and all that are ahead. But we need to start from somewhere. Because some people have not read that thing that you have read. But when we get to the class, the moment you start talking, he will ask a question ahead. Something that they might not even learn it at maybe the level 1 that they are. Maybe at the final level, 4-3 topics. He will be asking them. And it's not that he even have a deeper knowledge of it too, because he has read something. He wants to distract the class. There was one time, you know, we were solving something like that, and he asked the same question. Everybody got confused, including myself, the teacher. That was when I said, I'm going to stop this game. Now, I gave him the chance, come and do it. And now that same question that he was trying to ask, I twisted everything. Do it. He was not able to do it. Since then, he saw that we have knowing and we have how to stand in front of people and teach. So as a teacher, you need to be flexible enough, adaptable enough. Any situation that comes, devise strategies to counter it. If not, some people will destroy your work for you. They will destroy your work for you. I know here, these people here are small ones, so they don't give you guys trouble. From the parents, yeah. So, from the parents, we need to find ways of dealing with that. So, our last agenda, focusing on real-world learning. Focusing on real-world learning. As a good teacher, you have to create a practical environment for the students to help them derive better real-world exposure. Teaching is not only about you come to class, you check assignments, you check exercises. No. That's it we are teaching. How is it important in their real life situation? So let's always answer ourselves. Now you are teaching family. How is it important in their real life situation? If you talk about the disadvantages and the advantages, let the children know that in the family there is not only advantages. There may be disadvantages, there may be disadvantages and also opportunities that may come. So if they are not getting, if another family is getting, if maybe someone is able to get 10 cedis a day, and to that person, the father gives 5 cedis, he shouldn't be discouraged because there are what? Differences. In you teaching the family, you have to use this way to help the children to understand the real world, the real life that you are facing out there. If you do that, your lessons are going to be good and you are going to help your students very well. So this is where we brought the curtains for today's lecture. Questions and answer time. You can go also. Question and answer time. If you have any question, ask me. Or I should ask you questions.
Thank you, sir, please. Concerning this.
Okay. So you can go.
Go off.
Lesson will come out.
If,
Because I may think it's a broad.
okay, coming, madam.